Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, welcome to another video. Come sit down, grab tea, grab biscuits. This is what it's all about. I just can't get my fringe to do a thing. But whatever, that's not what it's about. I don't do hair on this channel. Obviously, look at this mess. However, today's video is essentially brought to us by a lovely friend and subscriber, Cheryl, who goes by the name Nemesis Marple. I've linked her down below in my description box. Thank you so much, Cheryl. She gifted me the Nikkie Tutorials Beauty Bay palette. Oh my god. Now, this is what it looks like if for some reason you haven't been on the internet and don't know about these things. That's what it looks like. Now, this video is not a review because, well, I figure everyone else has done a review at this point, and it's not a makeup tutorial because I'm okay at makeup. You know, I'm like a little bit above average, but I'm not so good that I'm like, sit down children and let me tell you. So what it is instead is, when this was initially launched, Pinky Rose Cosmetics actually were, I don't want to say up in arms, but they were not happy because they alleged that Nikkie stole this colour layout and colour story from them, and that she had knowledge of this because she used their palette in a video. That palette in question is the Obsessed palette, which I have actually owned for quite some time, and it looks like this. Yeah, so if we look at the two together, because, you know, why not? Let's do this, shiz. Let's do this. You can kind of see there are some similarities between them. Yeah. And that's actually what today's video is all about. I want to see, did Nikkie Tutorials actually take inspiration? Because I don't want to say that she out and out copied them, but that could be what I say in my thumbnail, because clickbait. Sauce. But I want to see, did her colour story correspond with this an awful lot? So I have done one eye with the Obsessed palette and one eye with the Nikkie Tutorial palette. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can have a little look. You know, and stare into my eyes. It's beautiful. So this is what I came up with using both of those palettes. So one eye is obviously using the Obsessed Pinky Rose palette and one eye is using the Nikkie Tutorials palette. Comment down below if you think you know which one is which. This is my right eye and this is my left eye. I will tell you at the end of the video. And you can also watch me doing this video, like doing this look, you know, if you feel so inclined. And I may go into some info on my life, because it's a little bit of a story time. So yeah, if that is something you are interested in, I'm going to zoom myself out rather than playing with the camera. Vogue. Look, I don't know, I'm on a lot of antibiotics. I'm a little bit unwell. It's alright. I'll be fine. But if that is something you are interested in, then this is the video for you, and do please keep on watching. So, I mean, we're here. We're going to try and compare the two palettes to see if one is really a dupe. You know this, you've listened to my intro. I have a colour switch here that I'm just going to use to kind of go between the colours so that there's no contamination. It's all very official. Anyways, let's do it. Let's just do it now. Look, I am still on antibiotics, so I don't 100% know what it is that I'm doing. So just going to start off by planting a smidge of colour onto my eyelids. So this is, of course, thanks to the wonderful, beautiful Cheryl. She goes by Nemesis Marple on both YouTube and Instagram, and she is both a friend and a subscriber, and she is far too generous, and she gifted me the Nikkie Tutorials palette. And like, when this came in the post, I was having a really not so fantastic day because I had tonsillitis, and I still do have tonsillitis. I'm technically finished my course of antibiotics, but I am still sick as a dog. You're welcome. But I was feeling a bit miserable, and then this package came through and I got all weird and emotional and a little bit weepy. So Cheryl, I just want you to know that I so appreciate it, and I so appreciate you, but please know you don't have to get me things. I'm just so happy to have you in my life, to know that I have somebody who is that kind and thoughtful. I don't think you get how big a thing that is. Like, not everyone has the distinct privilege to know somebody like that. You are one in a million. You're fabulous. And I adore you. Yeah, like, I really wanted to say that because you're fabulous. Going into each different palette, because, you know, why not? I never know what it is that I'm going to do when I sit down. It's kind of my thing. So even as I'm doing this, I have no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, I had a weird day yesterday. So will I say it? Of course I will. It's story time. So I come from a small community in the west of Ireland. Everyone knows everyone, right? Now, I haven't lived there in a while. I was obviously back there during lockdown because, you know, what else are you going to do in lockdown except go back home? And anyways, yesterday I got a friend request from somebody, and I looked him up, and it was like, it said that it was, I'm not going to name names, it said that it was such and such a person, and they were married to somebody I went to secondary school with. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember them. They went out together for ages, like even during secondary school. That was odd. And it said, this is who he is, this is where he lives, you know, all the stuff that Facebook tells you. And I was like, oh, okay, grand. Well, I do know this person. So, well, sort of. It's almost like it's prophetic as to the way that it was going to go. I'm just apparently going to keep dropping this. Jessup227 looks soft definer. And, yeah. Anyways, I kind of figured, well, I kind of know them. We have some friends in common. They've selected to add me as a friend. Sure, I'll accept it. No biggie. So I accepted it, and I kind of figured it would be, you know, one of those things that you've just accepted and you just, I don't know, like see their pictures or they comment on your Facebook statuses every so often, and you're like, huh, we've added so much to each other's lives just by existing. You know, I kind of figured, well, it's not going to be a big thing. It's more just people browsing. Anyways, within a couple of minutes of me having accepted his friend request, I got loads of like video calls. And I was sick. I still am not quite right. I can actually talk now, which is nice. But I got loads of video calls, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, and I don't want to video call with people unless I'm very like comfortable with them. I don't know if you guys are the same, but I'm like, no, I have to be pretty comfortable with somebody to get on like a video call, or even just a voice call, because I'm just really awkward. So I was like, what is this person doing? Why are they calling me? What is happening? I don't know. So anyways, I just kept kind of cancelling the call because I was also getting ready to go out on a date. I know, more on that later. Apparently I'm going to do that at you. So anyways, I just ignored, and I was like straightening my hair because I was like, let's try and make it so that I look like a human. Trick the man. Putting this through the colour switch. And anyways, I got a message then, and it was, now this is an Irish thing, so you may not understand what this means. I got a message saying, you're a ride. I know, we have such a way with words. This is why, you know, Ireland is known as the island of, you know, poets and musicians and saints and scholars. It's just because we really know how to communicate with one another in a beautiful and eloquent way, you know. It of course means like, I find you very attractive and I would like to mount you like a beast does. You know, Very Shakespearean, but there you go. So I was like, what the hell? Like, you are married to somebody I went to school with. And then I was like, oh, maybe I've totally, like, maybe this is not a fake account, but like, yeah, like a fake account that somebody had made that was like pretending to be them. So I went to the girl that I know and I went to her Facebook account, and it says, you know, married to this person, and it linked to their profile, and I clicked on their profile, and then I clicked on the messenger, and it brought me straight to that particular conversation. I was like, okay, it is that person. And I was like, what the actual hell? So I messaged back and I was like, dude, you know that I know your wife, yeah? And he basically just went on into being like, yeah, but she won't sleep with me and blah, 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 and I find you attractive and all this BS. At this point, by the way, I was out on my date with a person, with a human. I know. I'm as surprised as you are. Sorry, I have like 1,000 brushes and I'm trying to figure out which ones I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm going to use the Jessup 228 Luxe Crease. So I was like, what the hell do I do? Like, this is so bizarre. Like, this is a weird situation. So I'm really bad at just continuing to poke the bear, because that's how I am as a person. I know, it's such a lovely feature of mine, isn't it? I know. But I was like, I know your wife. What are you doing? Like, what the hell? Like, I think I said even something along the lines of, I respect your wife and you should too. And anyways, he just kept going on of like, basically being like, I want to sleep with you, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't know about you ladies and gents. I'm not going to assume your gender, guys. But when somebody that I don't really know propositions me in that way, I mean, that's exactly what a girl wants to hear. I mean, I have never felt so romanced in my life. So I did what any normal person would do. And I told him to F off in no uncertain terms. I think I said F off about 4 or 5 times. And I didn't block him in the end, because I was like, no, I want to get this info because I'm that person. And I screenshot it and sent it to his wife, who I know. And I was like, hey, so I'm getting these weird messages from your husband. And she just messaged back and said, oh, thanks, yeah, he's drunk. Don't mind him. And I sent something back along the lines of, yeah, it doesn't really matter if he's drunk. It's like inappropriate, and you deserve better and you should know your worth. Don't put yourself into that situation. So I didn't hear back from her. I got a couple more messages from him basically being like, F you, blah, 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 blah. Which, you know, he was like, oh, I'm so attractive. You should be lucky that I'm giving you attention. I'm like, oh, actually, that's right. And I said something back along the lines of, you're right. I'm so foolish. You're such a catch. Like, I mean, what? Yeah, so that was my mini drama yesterday, which wasn't even really a drama, but I just thought it was really interesting. So which eye is which? Have you figured it out yet? Okay, let's talk about, I still have another thing that I want to do. Yes, so let's talk, shall we, a little bit about my attempt towards love life. Okay, so this was one of those strange things that kind of just happened. Also, like, back to the weird cheating thing, that's like a big thing for me. I really, really dislike it, and it makes me really angry. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Did I do the right thing? Would you have done the same thing if it was somebody that you knew? Would you have told them what it was that had happened? Because as far as I'm concerned, I would personally want to know. But that's just me. Yeah, so I've alluded to this before. I am part of a meetup group in my like little attempts to try to get to know people and, you know, be friendly and I don't know, try to people. I'm not very good at peopling, if I'm 100% honest. And anyways, I organise some of the events. So, just concentrating on this for ever so slightly. So I had organised last week to have like a coffee meetup where we would just go for like tea and lunch. Now, for anyone who doesn't know the Meetup app, it is essentially you just put up, hey, this is what we're doing, feel free to come along. And I put down where we were going to be, what we were going to be doing, etc. Now, a lot of people I already knew were coming because they're friends that I've made via the Meetup app, and we like go for walks and stuff together, and they're just kind of generally awesome people, and I love hanging out with them. I just think they're brilliant people. So we had a new member, and he turned up, and we ended up talking because he had just arrived. Also, if you're watching, because I know he knows my YouTube channel, stop watching now. Stop being nosy. Turn it off. Go do your own thing. Shoo, shimmy. Anyways, we got talking. Bearing in mind that I looked like a foot that day because I had just come from doing one of Melanie's workouts. Thanks, Melanie. And I had just, I had showered because I was like, don't be that disgusting person. So I had showered, I put my hair up in a bun, my skin was all spotty because apparently, I don't know, hormones or whatever. I'm just gonna try and put a little bit more of that in there and swoosh that out. Yeah, I'm just taking it blank with nothing on it. And swishy, swishy, blendy, blendy. Yeah, words. So I had organised this. A lot of my friends had turned up, and this particular guy turned up, and I looked horrific. I was in sweatpants, I was in an old t-shirt, I was in my Not Today hoodie, which I got in a previous haul. Go find it. It's my Pennies haul / Primark haul. And anyways, yeah, he was newish to the area. I was talking to Missa, and Missa was like, yeah, he looks like a boy band member. He does. Like, it's like ridiculous. Like, he's really very attractive. Like, confusingly attractive. Like, he doesn't get the way that the playing field works. Like, I'm a 3, 4 with a personality. So I have to stick with those, usually. Every so often I manage to trick them, but he's really cute. Anyways, he was like, oh, you're really funny and blah, blah, blah. And we had been sitting and having coffee with all my friends, and of course, you know, with all the restrictions, they're like, you can't stay here beyond a certain time because we have to do things. And I was like, okay, fair enough, you know, I can deal with that. And I'm trying to figure out, I have so many brushes. So I had said to my friends, well, you know, if they're making us like go, well then, you know, does anyone want to come to mine for tea? And people were like, oh yeah, but then eventually they didn't. And this particular guy was like, oh yeah, I'll come, I just have to like go and do shopping first because, you know, fun times. And I was like, yeah, fair enough, because he like works crazy hours during the week. And I was like, yeah, fair, that's grand, come whenever. Just gonna take a bit of blue and maybe put on underneath as well. Future Teresa's problem. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what this look is looking like. This is a bit bizarre. They're looking very, very similar to each other, I think. And anyways, he turned up at my house then, and it was just the two of us, and we just talked and talked for hours about all sorts. He's not even new to the country, but he's new to like the surrounding area. We were just kind of talking about bits and pieces. And he had my number, and he just like started like messaging me most days, and I just people have to explicitly tell me what's going on because I'm not very bright, and I do kind of just assume that people aren't interested in me because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just like a mammy figure, and that's fine. Like, you know, people tend to gravitate towards me because I'm a nice person and not because they would find me like attractive. But don't give out to me. I know some of you are going to give out to me. This is just my perception of things. So shush, 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 shush. Okay, children? Thank you. Anyways, you go there. So he was like messaging me pretty much every night, and like wanted to talk to me on the phone, and I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, maybe this is a cultural thing because like he's from India, and I was like, oh, well, maybe this is like I'm not very bright. Maybe this is like how friendships are. And he was like, oh, you know, you're so bubbly and like fun to be around. And I was like, this is true. People do say that about me. If nothing else, I am nice to be around. And then he like messaged on Wednesday. This is a Wednesday now, so like this day last week. And he was like, oh, are you up to much? And I was like, no, I just did some yoga. Just gonna hang out. And he was like, oh, would you want to hang out for coffee? And I was like, yeah, come over to mine. So he came over and he was like, oh yeah, I've missed seeing you, etc., etc. And then he started saying about how he wanted to go to Pool Beck, which is like this lighthouse, and he wanted to watch the sunset. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And he was like, do you want to come with me? And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds nice. And I was like, oh yeah, great, friends going to see lighthouse. That is nice, because I like going off on like little trips and bits and pieces. So of course I said this to Missa and Elena during our releases and rants. And like, he's like very complimentary. He's like, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with that information. Like, I realise that I really should be more mature and should be taking that on and be like, well, thank you, but I'm so not used to it, which is really bad and very telling of like my previous romantic relationships, that I get a bit frightened by these things. So unhealthy. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm just gonna swish you back and forth. Swish you, I'll tell you. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I may actually just end up blanking that out and doing a halo. Yeah, I probably will. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. Yeah, I probably will, because I'm not wildly keen on it being there on the lid. And I'll put a bit of shims. Shim, shim, shim. That'll do. But yeah, so I was like saying this to Elena and Missa when we were recording, and they were like, that's a date. And I was like, no, it's not. People need to explicitly tell me these things, because I'm not very good on social cues, and I need to be like explicitly told things, or I just don't tap onto it. And they were like, no, it's definitely like it's a date. And I was like, is it? So then I got into my head about it, and I was like, well, maybe it is, maybe I don't know. It's hard to know that I'm an academic when I say things like that. So, oh, there we go. Just gonna take some concealer and do a bit of my eyes. Yeah, there we go. So, actually, I quite like the blue there. That'll do. So I messaged him and I was like, can I ask a weird question? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, good. You know that I ask weird questions, because, you know, at least we're on that setting, or that footing, that you know that I will ask stupid things. And he was like, go ahead, ask. And I was like, I'm so socially anxious. I don't know how to talk to other people. So I was like, is this a date? Like, it's fine if it's not. Because he was like, oh, we'll go for dinner, we'll go for a movie, we'll go for this, and we'll go for that. Because that's what he was saying. And we'll watch the sunset. And I was like, oh, okay. As far as I was concerned, I was like, I'd do that with a friend. Because, you know, what else? And he was like, it is if you want it to be. And I was like, well, what do you want it to be? Like I'm a 16-year-old. Anyways, it ended up being a date. So we had a lovely time. He is younger than me. He's 24. I'm 30. Like, he never owned a Nokia 3310, you know? He doesn't remember a time when there were only 150 Pokemon. Like, yeah. Anyways, whatever. It's fun. It'll be fine. Like, it doesn't have to be a whole thing. You don't have to question it and kind of go, oh, well, this is where we're going to be in X amount of time. So we had a date as well last night. We may have gotten locked in a park. That was the whole thing. Anyways, yeah, we should be hanging out again this weekend, I think, possibly, maybe. Unless I've, like, severely frightened him off with all of my strangeness, which, let's be real, there's a possibility I might have done that, because I am pretty odd. Just gonna take a look at this. And smack that on there. Yeah, that probably isn't the best shimmer to use there, but what else? It's the ones that I find that might be the closest. I think you can see the mattes are quite close to each other. Like, they do look like they're potentially from the same palette. But I think what you're going to really notice is that the shimmers are not. Is it this one or this one? Yeah, the shimmers are not. The shimmers are very different. See? Not wildly pigmented, but we'll get you there. We'll build you up. Oh, that's a bit not great, is it? So yeah, that's like my little update. Like, maybe I need to put this on with glitter glue. Or maybe I just need to smoosh it on with my finger. Yeah, there we go, that's a bit better. I mean, I don't particularly like when I have to do that. You can see the difference there now between the two of those. That's, I think, where it's like the most obvious between the two palettes. Have you figured it out yet as to which one is which? I am curious. Curious there and curious there. I don't know. Look, I don't know why they let me out to be around other people. It's a bit weird, a bit confusing. So I'm just taking my E36 and just kind of going between there. So I know that was a really pointless, long-winded story that essentially went nowhere. But I'm just taking a bit more of that like deep purple. Just kind of going along here because I can do what I want. I could take your man if I want to, but he doesn't want me and I don't want him, so it's all fine. Currently in a state of general uncertainty. Kinda like that though. It's not the worst, and I'm going to the beach later, so with friends. With like actual friends, not like, are they friends? Who knows? No, actual friends. Oh Lord. But yeah, I thought you guys would appreciate knowing about this. This was not one of the matchmaker things. This was just I've met somebody who exists in the real world. Not that people who use matchmakers aren't in the real world. They obviously are. I am one of them. So yeah. It's a weird, pointless story. That was my story time. Yeah, so that is it. I want you guys to figure out down below which one you think is which eye is Pinky Rose and which eye is the Nikkie Tutorials one. I'm going to go and finish off the rest of my face. I'm back and my hair keeps trying to steadily make its way into my mouth. Fringe is just not playing ball today. I think it's because when I washed it, I didn't immediately blow dry it and it just revolted against me. But whatever, I'm going to the beach. So it's not a big deal. Have you guessed which eye is which? Let's zoom you in so you can see it a little bit better. So here we have the eyes. Okay, so I used, was it 6 mats? 5 or 6 mats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mats and 1 shimmer from each of them. Have you guessed which one is which? My right eye is the Pinky Rose eye, and my left eye is the Nikkie Tutorials eye. I know. There isn't really any difference in terms of the mats, in terms of their blendability, their performance. I find them both really, really good. I think where the Nikkie Tutorials palette stands out is the shimmers. Let's be real, look at that shimmer. I mean, this is still a decent shimmer, but this is particularly nice because there's little flecks of glitter. But yeah, there does seem to be some correspondence between the two palettes. Are they a direct copy? No. If you look at, like, for instance, the orange that's in this palette and the orange that's in this palette, the Nikkie Tutorials one, they're actually very, very different. Like, they don't correspond with each other at all. The shimmers in this are quite different. The kind of green is much more vibrant in this. There's a much more minty green, as you can see there, and the green that you're seeing there is actually a shimmer, it's not a matte. So there are definitely differences between the palette, but I can see how they felt a little bit wronged. I do think it's very difficult though to come up with a completely novel, new, interesting palette these days, because it kind of does feel like everything has been done, and it more comes down to what palette is A, the best price, and B, the best formula for that price. So, I mean, this came from the States, so I had to pay like customs back in the day. This came from Beauty Bay. I didn't pay for it because Cheryl was far too nice. And I would love this anyway, just because I associate this with her. I am a sentimental person, and that if somebody gives me something, I will hoard it and keep it for the rest of my life. I am that sort of person. But I want to know what you guys think. Does this seem to indicate that there was a lot of correspondence, that there was a lot of inspiration taken from these particular things? What do you think? I want to know. I quite enjoyed doing this. I think my skills are getting a little bit better, and I used about 1,000 brushes. Elena, you'd be so proud. I didn't do a tutorial or review. There's lots of people I know who did reviews and tutorials. I will link them down in the description box because I will forget some of them, and I know that some of them haven't put their videos out yet. So I will probably come back and amend the description box as they put some of these out. But that is it. That is the end of the video. Do please like, comment and subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. It's like tantalizingly close. I can almost taste it. It's very Moorish. If I get to 1,000 subscribers, then I will show you guys my ridiculous makeup collection. And you can all judge me. I mean, don't judge me. Like, be nice, you know, because the internet is a mean place, and I like it when it's nice. And I might even get Cece on, because she's truly the star of the show, but I couldn't book her on for today's session because she's very busy having a nap on the couch. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Like I said, do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. Don't be gross. Like, I don't care if you're on the pill, you should still be using some form of protection. I'm just saying. I find myself funny, and that's all that really matters. The painkillers are wearing off. I'm feeling a little bit. I'm going to go F off now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.